And I'll bring up story number one. The fact that after 3 weeks, you and I, it took 3 minutes, and you and I are not cops, we're not DAs, we're not AGs, we're not detectives. It took you and I and most of New York 3 minutes to figure out that Jose Alba was defending himself and that he never should have been charged, sent to Rikers, all that nonsense. I am not going to make Alvin Bragg into a hero because he finally figured it out 3 weeks later. That was example number one, Bernard, of too little, too late.
I like that. Too little, too late. Listen, it certainly was a no-brainer, given the videotape, duh. And, you can never take away what happened to this man. He was arrested on a Friday night, and it was 4th of July weekend when everybody's partying, everybody's forgotten about anything, especially about anybody languishing on Rikers Island. This guy languished on Rikers Island for 6 days, maybe 6 nights. I don't know which the case was. Whatever. He languished on Rikers Island when nobody cared. There was no attention. And can you imagine what he thought? I am going to be spending the rest of my life in prison for defending myself. So very traumatic. He was injured, and so that's an awful thing. And then for 3 weeks, he had to ponder, well, are they going to charge me? Maybe, bring down the charges to manslaughter, whatever it was. The mental anguish that this man suffered for almost a month. He's going to be a very rich man. He's going to own a small island off the Dominican Republic at some point.
I hope he does. And that jerk-off mayor of ours, Eric Adams, comes out yesterday and basically congratulates Alvin Bragg. After further review, Alvin figured out, and I'm glad that the charges were dropped. Where was Eric Adams for 3 weeks when you and I were yelling every day? In fact, I remember right after it happened, I was off a couple of days, and it was you and the great John Katsimatidis, and you guys were screaming. So the fact that Eric Adams got to the party yesterday is very nice, but the party started 3 weeks ago. So again, with Eric Adams, too little, too late.
Absolutely too little. And there was no real reprimand on the part of Eric Adams as to why it took 3 weeks when it was clear as day from day one that this man was innocent. So, Alvin Bragg still should be fired. He still should be, he gets no... There's no real exoneration here. He had to do this.
Right, and that in his heart of hearts, it made him sick to do this. He would have loved to seen Jose Alba. And you go, but why, Sid? He was defending himself. The guy was a career criminal. And the answer is very, very easy. Because the bad guy was black, Alvin Bragg is black, and that's called racism.
Right, but that was the initial motivation. And then I would say the subsequent motivation for not dropping the charges was he didn't want to admit to any wrongdoing, and he just dug in out of, stubborn. I don't know the guy. I don't know his personality or anything.
And his party too, because there's a lot of folks in his party, the Democrat Party, that really wanted him to continue to nail Jose Alba.
Yeah, hang in there, Alvin. Hang in. Don't worry. We got you back. Stick with it. What the guy did, it was too much. It was way too much force to be defending yourself. You didn't have to kill the guy, so keep the charges going. Yeah, they were exhorting him, no doubt, to do that, and that was part of the reason why he didn't drop the charges, because of the racist haters on the left, on his side. Either way, charges dropped. Alvin Bragg still looks bad, and Lee Zeldin, you better leverage this thing to the hilt, man. That's all I'm saying.
Well, he was on Newsmax 2 days ago. He played the cut yesterday, and Lee Zeldin said it again, reiterated, first thing I'm going to do when I win and I beat Kathy Hochul in November is fire Alvin Bragg. So he wasn't impressed that Bragg dropped the charges. So those are two very good examples of too little, too late. Alvin Bragg dropping the charges, Eric Adams getting to the party. But I've got another Eric Adams, too little, too late. A story that surfaced yesterday, one we've been talking about for months here, especially you, Bernard, you and Rob Astorino, flying in all these illegal immigrants to Westchester. Then Miranda Devine says, not just Westchester, Stewart Airport, all over New York. A problem other states have been dealing with for months, and the truth is, so are we. It turns out our shelters in the city are overrun, and now, because it affects his city, and he has no idea what he's doing, Eric Adams has come to the realization that illegal immigrants in your city is not a good thing, and the federal government needs to help. Eric Adams, once again, too little, too late.
I like this. Absolutely too little, too late. Then I believe Eric Adams was implying that those governors down in Texas and Arizona were busing people not only to D.C., but up to New York. I think that's what he was implying, ignoring the fact, a few, as you point out, way too late, ignoring what Rob Astorino and Miranda Devine were highlighting, which was that the Biden administration was busing them in the middle of the night up to Westchester County Airport. And that's where that's really where they came from. They didn't come off buses. I do have a piece of audio if you want to hear Eric Adams and what he said about these illegals. All right, cut number 15, Louis. Eric Adams on this particular issue, shooting his mouth off, not knowing what he's talking about, I believe. Cut 15, please.
Not only federal government, but we need some of those states that have been giving people one-way tickets. We need them to understand that this must be a partnership in this country. New York is going to do its share, but we have an overburdened shelter system now.
So now you know. So now we are a border state, and why aren't more people clamoring to have this idiocracy down there in D.C., the Biden administration, Congress, to get this damn border closed? And because it affects everybody. So only when it's in your backyard does it matter? I mean, they're over. And by the way, the number is only 2,500. He claims that are burdening the homeless system. But I heard Mayorkas say on Tuesday again that the border was closed. This guy needs a smack upside the you know what. Yeah. I swear to God.
He's such a liar.
Unbelievable.
It's a liar.
Right. I mean, what are you kidding me? The fentanyl deaths, rapists, and all these able-bodied men, and that's what they mostly are coming across the border, able-bodied men, and we don't know anything about them, so they're in the homeless shelter. So Eric Adams, point your finger where it deserves to be pointed, at the Biden administration.
That's right. Yes. Stop asking them for money nicely. Well, I can use some help. The federal government come out and say, you put me because of your policies in this horrible situation. I'm trying to save the greatest city in the world. I'm working my ass off. You've made this job doubly difficult for me. Now do something about it. See, if Eric Adams talked like that, whether it was to Joe Biden or Kathy Hochul or Stuart Cousins or Heastie, any one of these louses, then I know for sure I would. I know you would too. Right. We would garner some respect for this guy, but he's such a pussy. He's such a double-talking, please everybody pussy. I can't stand the guy. Naming Biden, but not naming Heastie or Stuart Cousins or Bragg by name. He name and shamed Biden just there in that clip. But I will also point out that it came out yesterday, government stat, the incidences of overdoses amongst blacks regarding opioids, and that is the border and fentanyl, has skyrocketed. So that is an area of concern for somebody like Eric Adams, and it's a border problem as well. He should be addressing that also, throwing that in with the homeless shelters. Well, read Miranda Devine today. Again, she's all over it. Her column is entitled, Mayor Adams, Wake Up on Migrant Flights. So while he can tell you exactly what time they stopped serving booze at most nightclubs in New York City, he can't figure out these immigrants are killing us. So that is 3 great examples of too little, too late. Yesterday's theme. We'll continue it today. One more big story, of course, Bernard, is Joe Biden announcing to the world yesterday that he's got cancer. He tried to blame it on, you can't make this up, on the climate issue. Then, of course, the White House scrambled. Oh, my God, what are you doing? You're going to run again? You can't tell me you've got cancer. It was skin cancer from 4 years ago. I actually believe Joe Biden here and at the White House. Either way, another day of embarrassment, even on a cancer call by the President of the United States.
Yeah, this was pretty remarkable. Now, the guy is a congenital liar. So we don't know if it was we don't know what he was attempting to do, because he's told that story in different fashions. So yesterday he tells the cancer story, right? And, and he blames it on, as a matter of fact, I don't know what the hell. Let me look. Oh, here we go. The time situation. I have a clip of him from 2009. I'm sorry, not from 2009, from April. This is Biden in April telling the exact same story, Sidney. Listen. And he ascribes another illness to it, though. Cut number 5, exact same story in April. Please play that low.
And when I went to a small little school that was about a mile from the apartment complex we lived in, and a little school called Holy Rosary. And you couldn't walk to school because although it was a 4-lane access highway, it was just too dangerous to cross some of the streets. And my mother would get in, and when it came it came the fall, this is the God's truth. And you get in the car, and there's a little frost on the window, turn on the windshield wiper, there'd be an oil slick. Not a joke. I have asthma, and 80% of the people who, in fact, we grew up with have asthma.
See? Exact same story, but this time it was asthma. So what is behind this? What's going on? Was it cancer? Was it the skin cancer crap? The skin cancer crap wouldn't be, you couldn't point to, gunk on the windshield for skin cancer. And in this case, it's asthma. So I don't know. You can't follow along with this guy. He's so incoherent. Yep. Asthma, cancer. What is it? What was the point of the lie?
He probably has both. He's a mess. I mean, to be
he's
honest.
A complete and total mess.
Yeah.
And so it's hard to figure out. But we deserve not a joke. It's hard to figure out.
Yeah.
But we deserve more answers.
Of course.
I mean, and what he said yesterday was, I have cancer. He implied it in the present. So, do you have cancer? I don't know. I mean, the whole thing is weird. He's a liar. We're in big trouble. That whole climate change nonsense with the executive orders. Again, I'll get into that a little bit more, just how ridiculous it is. But this guy's a clown. We know that. And a liar. Again, to start off, I'll repeat myself. He is a congenital liar.
Bill O'Reilly's going to be here today. He's here every Thursday, the highest-rated segment of the week on Bernie and Sid. And baseball returns tonight. There's only one day a year where there's no action, nothing going on, and that's the day after the Major League Baseball All-Star Game. That's why every year on that day, ESPN puts on that really, really grotesque award show called the ESPYs, where all these athletes stand there and basically it's one big circle jerk and tell each other how great they are. It is really, it's one of the reasons why they want to kill us, to be honest. So that was on last night, but the Yankees are back on the field tonight. 1-800-848-WABC, 1-800-848-9222, off to a fiery start. Bernie and Sid on a Thursday morning, only right here on Talk Radio 77 WABC.